Alright, in this video, we're going to go ahead and make some edits to our Hello World PSD file. So if it's not already open, go up to File, down to Open, open up the Hello World PSD, and let's first delete our text. Let's take the text layer here, the Hello World type layer, drag that to the trash can. So we're going to lay down some text in a different way now. So select the Type tool, which is the T in the toolbar. Up in the top, once again, we're still going to use Times New Roman. The style, we're going to set to bold. The font size, instead of choosing one from the list here, you can simply highlight the 12 points that it's currently set at, put in 80. We're going to set the justification to center, and the color, if you click once, it's going to bring up the color picker, and you can just position the cursor up into the upper left-hand corner, which is going to choose the white color. Click OK. Our text is now going to be white. So what we're going to do is basically lay out some text in the very center of our little box here. So what we don't have to worry about creating a new layer, because as soon as we basically click or touch down inside the canvas with the type tool, it's going to automatically create its own type layer. So what we need to do now is basically, instead of simply clicking once to add the blinking cursor, we're going to click and drag. So I'm going to start sort of in the middle here at the edge of our image. I'm going to click, I'm going to drag out a box that extends the length of the image. So what we've now done is drawn out a text box. Oops. Make sure that's set to 80. And now once again, click or type in the Hello World. Once you're done with that, press the check button up here in the options to commit the type. Select the Move tool, and now we're going to use a function of the Move tool that's known as nudging. So with the Move tool selected, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard and just press the down arrow until the words Hello World are sort of in the middle. This is what's known as nudging. So now let's add our first layer style to the words Hello World just to make them stand out just a bit more. So to add a layer style to a layer, into text or to images or even vector graphics, it doesn't matter. All you need to do, simply double click off here to the layer, not on the words, but on the layer itself. It's going to bring up the layer style dialog. So we're going to add the drop shadow. So click on the word drop shadow. If you were to just click on the check, you would turn it on, but you wouldn't get the options over here to the right. So say I wanted to add an inner glow, if I just clicked or checked the box, look here, I'm still looking in the drop shadow box. So if you actually click the word, not only does it check the box, but it goes to that set of options. So I don't want an inner glow, so I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to go back to drop shadow. So the opacity, which is basically how transparent the drop shadow is going to be, I'm going to set to 100%. So I'm going to grab the slider, drag that up to 100%. Then we're going to look at the distance. You can see if we drag the distance slider to the right, that basically determines how far away the shadow is going to be from our text. So we're going to drag that all the way to the left so that there's a distance of 0. So that when we grab the size slider and pull that out, it's basically going to sort of radiate outwards from behind the text equally in all directions. So once we have our slight drop shadow in place, click OK. Notice over here in the layers, I'm going to click once down here into the no man's land of the layers panel. You can see that we have what's this little FX symbol, and right next to that is a little up arrow, which we can click and sort of hide the little layer style information. Click it again to reveal that we have some effects, such as the drop shadow, which you can actually make visible by clicking on the eye next to the drop shadow. If you had multiple layer styles, you could click this eye over here that says effects and hide all of the layer styles. We currently only just have the one here. So before we save our changes, let's just go ahead and look at naming or renaming our image layer here. So I'm going to select the layer 1 layer, and I'm going to double click right where it says layer 1. That's basically going to give me this little input box, and I'm just going to call this image layer and press enter. It's a good idea to get in the habit of naming your layers just to keep everything straight, because eventually you'll probably be working with several different layers, and it's always good to know or to name the layer so you know what you're going back to or where to find a specific layer. So we basically just made a minor change to our document, but it has definitely changed the look of it. So instead of saving the document as it is right now, go up to File, and this time we're going to choose the Save As feature. What that's going to do is basically give us the option of renaming it, and we're going to basically save a copy of it. So we can call this Hello World -2 for lack of a better name, then click Save. Once again, the same Maximize Compatibility dialog opens. Simply just click OK, and that's going to save this new PSD. So now we have two PSDs. We have our, if I go up to Open, our Hello World PSD that we originally worked on with the little black text at the bottom. We made some changes. We used the Save As feature and saved it as a new document, Hello World -2. And before we move on and make any more edits, the next video we'll take a look at some of the common features that you'll be using, the common tools, and also some of the newer tools.